Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're actually putting Hollywood's version of the white lion head-to-head with some pretty breathtaking genetic reality. Let's just dive right in, because honestly, the actual science here, it's way stranger and infinitely more fascinating than the fiction. If you've been to the movies lately, you might have seen white lions pop up in pop culture, like in Disney's Mufasa, the Lion King. In that story, white lions are the outsiders. They're this hostile rival pride led by a character named Kiros, who were supposedly cast out just because of their unique fur color. And hey, it makes for really great drama, sure. But today we're going to explore why painting them as aggressive, isolated outcasts is, well, it's entirely biologically and geographically incorrect. In reality, these striking animals aren't some rival faction. They aren't a separate species, and they aren't even a separate subspecies. They are completely normal African lions, Panthera leo if we're being scientific, that just happen to carry a super rare genetic condition. Out on the savannah, a white lion cub is never driven away as an outcast. No way. It's fully accepted by its family. Sure, that striking white coat might make natural camouflage just a little bit trickier, but they live, they hunt, and they thrive right alongside their golden-furred siblings. Now, to really understand the genetics at play here, we've first got to clear up a massive misconception. These lions are absolutely not albino. It's interesting, the word albino actually comes from the Latin root albus, which simply means white. The Portuguese adapted it back in the 17th century to describe individuals with light skin and hair, and then the English language directly adapted it right after in the mid-1600s. Instead, these lions have a condition called Leucism. And here's the fun twist. This term stems from the Greek word leukos, which, you guessed it, also translates to white. So linguistically, they're basically identical twins. But biologically, they literally couldn't be more different. So here is where the genetics completely split. Human albinism is a systemic genetic condition. It's characterized by a severe deficiency or sometimes a total absence of melanin production that impacts the entire body. We're talking hair, skin, and eyes. Lion leucism, on the other hand, it's highly localized. It's driven by a regional recessive gene, and it doesn't wipe out melanin completely. It merely dials down the color pigment specifically in the animal's fur. Because leucism is so hyper-targeted to just the fur, it leaves the rest of the lion's biological systems perfectly intact and normally pigmented. It's a really stark contrast to albinism, which operates globally across the body, drastically altering not just appearance, but absolutely crucial things like eye color and visual functionality. For some visual proof, just look closely at the face of the lion right here. Notice that stark black nose pad? Look at the dark lips and those deep, dark rims around the eyes. They retain their dark pigment exactly where they need it, which proves they aren't systemically pale like individuals living with albinism. And the eyes highlight this difference so beautifully. In human albinism, the iris is translucent because it completely lacks the pigment required to block light. Sometimes this even causes the eyes to look pink or red. That's a phenomenon called vascular reflection, where light is actually bouncing right off the blood vessels at the back of the retina. But leucistic lions, they boast normally, brilliantly pigmented eyes. Their eye color stays right in the standard range for lions, typically showing up as gorgeous shades of blue, hazel, or golden. And because their eyes develop perfectly normally, these leucistic lions have absolutely zero vision impairment. I mean, none. They maintain complete visual functionality, which allows them to hunt, navigate the really harsh savanna, and just thrive at peak performance without any visual disadvantages whatsoever. Now, this contrasts incredibly sharply with human albinism. You see, melanin isn't just about color. It actually acts as this crucial structural scaffolding for proper eye development. When that scaffolding is missing, it leads to severe, permanent vision impairments. We're talking about conditions like nystagmus, which is an involuntary bouncing of the eyes, photophobia, which is a severe sensitivity to light, and blurred vision caused by an underdeveloped fovea, which basically prevents sharp, clear sight. So this brings us to a massive difference in how these conditions actually spread. Albinism is what we call a universal genetic mutation. It's a broad genetic condition that can spontaneously pop up in virtually any animal species or human population, literally anywhere on the globe. But leucism in white lions, it is absolutely not a worldwide phenomenon. It's not a random mutation scattered globally across all lion populations. Actually, it's more like a highly concentrated, incredibly specific geographic reality.
True, wild white lions actually have a very specific home. They are native exclusively to the Timbavati and Kruger regions of South Africa, and because this trait is driven by a localized regional recessive gene, it stays tightly concentrated in these specific populations. The genetic math here is incredibly strict too. For a white lion cub to be born in the wild, both parents must carry this exact rare recessive gene. It truly is a localized marvel of nature.
So, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a fascinating thought to chew on. We've just seen how a rare, beautifully integrated, and geographically specific South African genetic trait, a trait that leaves the lion completely healthy and fully accepted by its family, was completely flipped by cinematic myths into the story of hostile, isolated outcasts. It kind of makes you wonder, right? If movies can so easily misrepresent such an incredible genetic reality, what other natural wonders has Hollywood completely misunderstood? Keep questioning what you see on the big screen, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.